The U.S. dollar was officially established as the U.S. currency in April 1792. As the country is expanding when it comes to the economy, the general public seems to have taken a general interest in the people they would want to see on money. Truth is, there are new designs that are being taken into consideration for U.S. coins and paper bills that would represent a wider variety of historical symbols and figures that define this country. For start, Harriet Tubman's portrait will be the fresh face of the $20 bill, which is something that won't happen until 2028. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech on gold and silver coins, and Eleanor Roosevelt would be on the reverse side of the new $5 bill. If any of these changes will actually take place, only time can tell. However, we've decided to make a rundown of all the figures that can be found today on our currency. Penny Abraham Lincoln. The Lincoln penny was first produced and issued in 1909, honoring the president's birth centennial. The coin was designed by David Brenner, and it was the first one to present a portrait and the motto "In God We Trust." On the other side, two wheat heads flank the denomination, and the United States of America, with the Latin phrase on top, E pluribus unum. If you ever notice that Lincoln's portrait is the only one that faces to the right on a coin, then you are right. And no, there's no particular reason for that, but way to go for your sense of observation. Thomas Jefferson. The Jefferson nickel was made by Felix Schlag, as part of a special competition supervised by the U.S. Mint. It was issued in 1938, replacing the old Buffalo nickel. Ever since it was introduced, it's still one of the most popular coins in circulation. So we have Jefferson's portrait, alongside the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," as the reverse side is a landscape of his Monticello plantation, alongside three inscriptions, "E pluribus unum," United States of America, and Monticello, and a couple of other distinguishing characteristics. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Honoring FDR's passing in 1945, the Roosevelt dime was rapidly secured and minted the next year. It replaced the Mercury dime, which wasn't in circulation for long. What's really worth mentioning is that even if Roosevelt led our nation through the Great Depression and most part of World War II, this dime was made in honor of his fight against polio. Doctors discovered that FDR was hit with this brutal disease in 1921, setting the tone for a presidency shadowed by illness, but marked by strength and resilience. The dime was made by chief engraver John R. Cynic, featuring the president's portrait and the word "Liberty" on the left and "In God We Trust" on the back. George Washington. The Washington $quarter was stamped in 1932, in honor of the first president's 200th birthday. The Bicentennial Committee initially requested a temporary Washington $half issue replacing the Walking Liberty $half, but Congress got involved. From Congress's requests, it scrapped the $half plans and instead required the Washington quarter to replace the Standing Liberty quarter. As the committee voted for sculptor Laura Garden Fraser's design for the president's portrait, Treasury Secretary Andrew W. Mellon managed to turn things his own way and decided on the design of John Flanagan. Abraham Lincoln. Before they decided on Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the $5 bill in 1914, there were 7 other candidates that were considered for the spot, such as Alexander Hamilton, Chief One Papa, and James Garfield. In 1928, Lincoln became the face of the bill, which shows the Lincoln Memorial on the other side. The bill's most well-known image of Lincoln is after Matthew Brady's portrait of the president in 1864. But since 2008, the bill received a new high-tech redesign. The new $5 front has the color purple in it, an imprint of the Great Seal of the U.S. to the right of Lincoln's portrait, and a band of stars. Alexander Hamilton. Before Alexander Hamilton's portrait on the $10 bill, there were many other figures imprinted on it, such as politician Daniel Webster, explorers Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, but also President Andrew Jackson. However, as of 1929, Hamilton was the statesman of choice for the bill. Did you know that the portrait you see nowadays on your money is based on an 1805 painting, made by John Trumbull? Hamilton was the nation's first Treasury Secretary, and one of the 2 non-president figures that are featured on the U.S. paper currency, the other one being Benjamin Franklin. Alexander Hamilton. Before Alexander Hamilton's portrait on the $10 bill, there were many other figures imprinted on it, such as politician Daniel Webster, explorers Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, but also President Andrew Jackson. However, as of 1929, Hamilton was the statesman of choice for the bill. Did you know that the portrait you see nowadays on your money is based on an 1805 painting made by John Trumbull? Hamilton was the nation's first Treasury Secretary, and one of the two non-president figures that are featured on the U.S. paper currency, the other one being Benjamin Franklin. Sacagawea. The coin was designed by Glenna Goodacre, and it shows the Native American carrying her son, John Baptiste. It started circulating in 2000. The reverse side of the $1 coin was made by Thomas D. Rogers, Sr., and it has a soaring American bald eagle. Even if the dollar coin was stamped as a golden dollar, it doesn't really contain any gold.